Hey guys, it's Bobby, and judging by what I'm wearing, it's that time of the year. Oktoberfest! Prost! So to honor the holiday properly, we're not only gonna drink beer, we're gonna cook with it. Today, we're making a pork-stuffed cabbage leaf, boiled in beer broth, smothered in a great lager sauce. These gut busters will not only fill you up, but they'll soak up all that alcohol so you can keep on drinking more. Now before I get started, do me a favor, click on that subscribe button below. We have new free videos every 2 weeks, and hey, I didn't dress up in these lederhosen for no reason, so show me some love. All right, in the pan here, I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil heating over medium-high heat. So I got 1 pound of ground pork here. It's unseasoned, and break it up with my spoon. Because you want to cook the filling first. I'm looking for the texture of the stuffing to actually kind of fall apart like grains when you cut into it, which is really the opposite of what you have in a meatball. As it's cooking, make sure you take your spoon and continually break up the ground pork. You want it to be as fine as possible. Don't forget, we got to add a little bit of seasoning right now, a teaspoon of kosher salt, and 3 to 4 cracks of freshly ground pepper. So once the ground pork is cooked about 70% of the way, I grab 1 roughly chopped Spanish onion, or any sweet onion's gonna work, and add that to the mixture. And check it out, you can already see that the pork has really separated and broke down into small bits. The onions are releasing a lot of their moisture, so I'm gonna cook this about 5 to 8 minutes, or until all that moisture has dried from the bottom of the pan. So when I was thinking about what Oktoberfest recipe I wanted to share with you guys, you know I wasn't gonna give you straight up brats and beer. That ain't gonna happen. This dish is actually a fusion between Germany and Bulgarian cuisine, because my wife is Bulgarian, and they have a traditional dish where you stuff pork in the cabbage leaves. But I thought, hey, why don't we take it 1 step further and boil those cabbage leaves in the beer, reinforce it with a golden beer sauce, and that's how we're really gonna do this holiday proper. All right, now I can see that most of the liquid has been evaporated, so I'm gonna take 1 cup of rice. You can use any kind of rice you want, and with the heat still on, I like to stir it into the oil, into the fat there, and cook it for about a minute so the rice really soaks up all that deliciousness. All right, let's kill the heat, and it's time to season this mixture before we stuff them in the cabbage leaves. So first up, I have 1 tablespoon of summer savory. It's kind of like sage flavor, and it's a very common ingredient in herbes de Provence, and I like to mix it between my hands like that and break up the leaves and get all the essential oils out. 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of freshly minced dill, and the same thing with flat leaf parsley. Mix all these ingredients around. And before we stuff it in the cabbage leaves, I actually want to taste the filling to make sure the salt and pepper is there. It's my only chance to actually get the seasoning right. Let's give it a little taste. And besides the crunchy raw rice, it definitely needs a little more salt. So I'm going to hit it with another good, generous pinch of salt, and we might as well do a crack of pepper while we're at it. All right, now it's time to do the dirty work, the stuffing of the cabbage leaves. Now check these out. These are pickled cabbage leaves. They're more of a specialty item. You could definitely get them online, but here in Chicago, we have Eastern European market. No, these aren't like pickled pig's brains. No, this is the Halloween episode that's coming up in a couple weeks. These are probably like 2 or 3 heads of cabbage that have the individual leaves stripped off, and they're pickled. So I'm gonna take this guy here. It's pretty much bigger than my face. I'm gonna put it in the bottom of my Dutch oven here. I've got my second football-sized cabbage leaf here. And I'm gonna create the base layer here also, so nothing sticks to the bottom. These 2 sacrificial lambs have done their job of covering the bottom. All right, let's start off with a little bit of our rice filling. And this is definitely one of those things where less is more. You don't want to overstuff these, otherwise they're going to break, they're going to split open while they're cooking. This is a nice heaping tablespoon for this piece of cabbage here. I'm going to channel my inner Chipotle burrito wrapping skills here. I'm going to pull the rice to the base. I'm going to fold over and pull in. And I think this is also the same thing you do for making a wonton or a pierogi. I'm going to fold the 2 sides in, and then I'm just going to wrap over, creating a nice tight seal. And when I bring it to the pan, I'm going seam side down here. I'm gonna put it in the corner. This is definitely one of those things where if you have some extra fingers around, because this isn't going quite as quickly as it looks in the video. This is laborious. Someone pour me a stein of lager. That'll make it go quicker, huh? To prevent any floaters during the cooking process, we're just gonna take a plate that fits inside the pot and put it on top of the cabbage leaves. Now for the cooking broth, we're starting with 1 bottle of German-style beer. Just to make sure everything is good, I gotta take a little sample, and I'm just gonna pour that beer in my pot here. And then I have 2 cups of vegetable broth. Low sodium because I wanna control the amount of salt in my dish. You can totally use chicken broth, homemade chicken stock, beef broth. It's all good. Just make sure it's low sodium. So you want it to cover the cabbage leaves by a good inch or two. If that didn't do it, add some more vegetable broth because you need there to be liquid left over later on to make our golden lager sauce. Now all we have to do is bring this pot to a boil, reduce it down to a simmer, slap the lid on it, and wait 1 hour. You know what we can do in 1 hour. More drinking and more dancing. All right, it's been an hour and the daylight is scarce and all that drinking and dancing has really made me hungry. So all we have to do first is get rid of this plate, and this is crazy hot. So take a double tong approach like this and first put the plate on the side. And then all we have to do is very carefully take each of these cabbage leaves out. I grab another one of these and I can tell there's just about 2 cups of pan juice here, the beer broth, and that's perfect because we're gonna make our sauce with that in a minute. Now we're gonna drizzle on some of our golden lager pan sauce. Then hit it with a little bit of chopped fresh parsley and a little bit of fresh dill. All right, guys, so make sure when you take a break from all your Oktoberfest partying, try out this recipe. It's gonna fill you up. Let me know how it is. Leave a comment below, and please subscribe to my channel. We'll see you next time. All I have to say is Prost and happy Oktoberfest.